Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about making the best of a bad situation. Making the best of a bad situation. We are here on Himmels Mountain Pass Dorf, and I have spawned into the southeast. I believe this is the side with the better win rate. Not 100% sure. I should look it up, but whatever. Somebody will know. Which is helpful if it is indeed the best side, and I'm pretty sure it is. I think this is the one that wins more by a lot. So that's in my favor just to begin with. But what we're going to see here is a non-meta situation. I'm going to have to make the best of a bad situation. One of the things you will notice with the Super Unicums and very good players, I consider myself a below average Unicum or maybe an above average Blueberry. I don't know. I'm in between there. I'm certainly not a Super Unicum. One thing you'll notice though with those guys when they're playing this game is they have an extremely fast analysis of what's going on in the map. Everything from what is the standard meta to the small engagements and local areas, places to go, how to fall back, decision making, ect. I think we're all pretty decent at some good positions that we know, and then as we get better at the game, we get pretty good at knowing what the meta kind of is, and then you can even start to understand how your position in the meta may change based on your type of tank, your tiering, the enemy's situation in terms of their tanks, their tiering, etc., and the map and all that good stuff. So you'll start to build all that in, but there's also the ability to kind of look at the map and how everything is flowing and make a good decision in non-meta situations. I think that's probably the hardest of all of those to deal with, because then what do? You know the meta, you have a good idea of good positions you like to go to, and everything's working out in that direction, then that's great, because you can go do meta stuff, and that's cool because it tends to work. Why is it meta? Well, because it tends to work. Not all the time, but over time, it's the better option. So it is the high percentage play. Well, what do you do with situations where you're kind of forced to low percentage play idea, at least on certain flanks? Now, if we take a look over here, I think you've already seen this start to develop. We just aren't sending anybody down to the south to fight down here. And if you look at our setup, we have an M3Y, TS-54, Tiger II, Type 63, Skoda. All those are really good tanks for fighting down here in the south. Where did they almost all go? Well, they either went to the middle road or they went north. So it's me, a Sturv, a Proto, a couple Borosks, and a Hawk. There is no way, and I've already seen that they have a considerable number of good tanks headed this way. I can already see that that group is not going to hold the south. Even if we push forward up into what are strong positions up here, it ain't happening. My turret's okay, but once they see how light it is, once they start to see where the other tanks are on our team on the map, they're going to push us. That's got to be the going in assumption with this. So I'm just not interested in driving forward and dying. Now, I don't always see these. I am stubborn sometimes. Sometimes you will find yourself getting irritated and say, well, I'm just going to go up there and see what I can do because this team is stupid. Other times you make good decisions. Now, I'm watching the Sturv and I'm thinking, well, maybe we can hold them for a bit, because I'm already leaning forward into that. Man, I hate to give up the whole flank, but notice the Bros didn't come, the T-20 didn't come, and the T-28 is a smart man. He tells me to fall back, and I was on the way about the time he did that. And the poor Sturv, I don't think he makes it out. And honestly, it's close for me getting out. They've crossed the middle. We've given up a whole bunch of map. But I'm going to fall back. I got to make the best of a bad situation. So, from my knowledge of this map, I can probably do some pretty good work behind these rocks here. I will be exposed to the GW Tiger P. That's not great. As long as the guys are holding the bridge, I won't be attacked from behind, and I should be able to keep these guys busy. And I figure I'm watching the Proto and the Bros, and probably this other Bros soon. They're going to fall back and give me cover above there, so I'm fixing to get myself some assist and some damage. Right now, though, thought process-wise, is I'm just going to try to get as much damage as I can. Maybe our north guys do okay, but they aren't so far. We're down 3 tanks already. I am just in farming mode. Right now, I'm going to try to make the best of the situation. I'm going to try to get as much damage as I can get. That being said, and I have a little trouble figuring out how to drop this tree right here. That being said, the longer you stay alive and the more damage you do and the more enemy tanks you take out, the closer you can get to victory. Even though it's not looking great right now, you never know. Looks even worse, doesn't it? We've already lost a heavy medium and 2 of our heavies, and that north push didn't do a whole bunch. And we're already stuffed down into one corner of that. This is usually a recipe for disaster, but as we've talked on the channel before, you've got to play the game. So if we just went by stats, then we would never play the games, and it would be pretty easy to figure out. Well, we have to play the game and see what happens. And every time you solve a problem and move on, you're still in the game, and maybe you have an opportunity to solve another problem. Another 59 Patton makes a push. So I'm not going to be over aggressive right here. I'm really counting on the snippers back up behind. I thought the Sturv got killed, but he didn't. Good on him. I make kind of a dumb push there, getting a little impatient to see where they are. What I really didn't want is for them to show up behind me here without being seen. And I'm kind of looking at this going, well, that this is going to work out for me. I mean, I got a bit of damage. Maybe I'll get some assist in here, but I think we're pretty well screwed. This works out, though. Check it out. Here comes the BZ. Now, for whatever reason, the BZ decides not to go after me. I don't know if he just ignored me. That was a bad shot, by the way. I auto-aim, but you notice it was aiming at the very back of the tank. I needed to aim like this with manual aiming. A crit. Slapped by the Contradictus for 701. This guy's not going to like the shots that he keeps taking from me. And unfortunately, maybe watch the Contradictus. I'm like, all right, maybe I can hold this. BZ, don't look at me. That didn't work out. Maybe I can shut him down. There we go. Nope, that was another bad aimed shot. That is unfortunate, but my friends kill him, and the BZ has ignored me. So I shoot him again, and pretty quickly he's not going to ignore me. He missed, thank goodness. Situations like this, it's not a case of me showing you this video and saying, oh look, I made the most epic decision of all time and it completely turned the game for us. That's part of it. It was a decent decision. It's working out okay to get me some more damage, although I should have stopped right here because I do have 12 damage. That's pretty cool. It's going to end up working out pretty well, actually, but other things had to happen. Oftentimes, in these edge cases like this, the enemy has to make bad mistakes. The BZ doing what he did, if he'd have just turned around and killed me with one of those shots, that would have been a better move for him. Or maybe even just go by me and head over to this wall so he's covered up from those guys and shoot me. Pretty much ends the entire game. The Contradictus got a bit unlucky as well. I had a couple unlucky shots, so it's not a case of it was a perfect play, but it is working out for me right now. There can be no doubt about that, especially compared to what I thought was going to happen. Now I know I can take a hit from him, and I figure I need to get rid of him. So we'll hit him. Nice, get a bounce. Get a bounce, and that guy dies. Borosk, he's thinking about it. He's looking at that guy. He's probably surprised I'm still alive, to be honest. Arbor comes around, and look at this. Slowly we're clawing our way back into this. We'll auto-aim him. Another miss that I really needed, so the M3 misses me. He's sideways. That's a terrible plan. Also, I shouldn't have poked out and sat there because I just gave it hit points I didn't need, and I didn't pin him because of why? I'm shooting heat at him into his tracks. Mistakes are made, fellas, even when things are going well. All right, there we go. We dropped that guy, and holy cow, look what we've done. 6-9, making the best of a bad situation. Meta was not met. I had to do something else. It was a bit of a desperation move. I held. My team actually did a decent job of falling back-ish with the guys that were alive. Nice job against the pushers onto the cap. Those guys are tearing them up. But I figure I got to help this Tiger 2 get rid of the RHM. See if we can hit this dude, and boom. Down he goes. I like it. I like it a lot. TS-54 comes back, and now we're going to flex, and actually we built a bit of an advantage here, fellas. We are down some hit points, it would seem. Just make sure I'd hit that dude. So we got a one-shot Borosk, mostly two-shot, maybe not for the Klana at close enough range. And we've got the Tiger 2, who I think is headed off that way for some reason. Looks like he's going after the GW Tiger P, maybe. I'm going to use these bushes. I know I got to get this Borosk. They have an IS-6 over there in a Klana. The Borosk is staying alive, which I like. Here comes the IS-6. I just saw him, and we'll try to shut him down. There we go. Lower plate. Highly angled. Probably a little lucky that went in. It might have went left and actually gone into the side of his armor and not hit his track, for all I know. Here comes the other Borosk, who has full hit points. So they've got 2 on cap. Bit of a timing issue. There are 2 on cap. I'm figuring it's the Borosk and probably the Su-130. The Kalana's up top. The Borosk sneaks up underneath, and this is making me feel very good. We should shut these guys down. And unfortunately, it doesn't go quite as well as I would like here. I don't think the Kalana knows we've gone by yet. He will know soon. If I'm honest, the Barras should have just made a move straight through those guys, although I think maybe the Kalana would have killed him. He takes 2 shots, gets one of them. I'm going to go after the Barras. We hit him. We're going to back out. The other low hit point Barras comes in, and just like that, it's 14-12, fellas. Had a terrible situation. Basically took a non-meta situation, and I had to make do with what we had. Had to come up with a new plan. Had to make the best out of a bad situation. I'm going to kind of pork away my fight against this Kalana here. He could beat us. I was sort of waiting for the Tiger 2 to get close. Thought I might cheese a heat shot into him there, but it didn't work out. He's starting to figure out he's going to have to push, and he's actually got pretty good hit points. So we'll get him once, and I'm like, oh, maybe he'll miss. Maybe he'll miss. No, he's not going to miss. And he rammed. He rammed. Oh, dude, this is so bad. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I don't know why the Barras pushed up like that. That was bad. Doesn't matter, though, because we are going to be carried by the Tiger 2, who has, for some reason, driven all the way around, although I guess he did kill the Su-130. And he did get rid of the GW Tiger P, so that wasn't bombing us. Gets a bounce. The Kalana takes a bit of a desperation shot on the way in, and I think he probably rams himself to death if he'd have ran. Barras says he shot gold, which, okay, or maybe he's saying he shot gold. And there you have it. I think a good example right there of me making a good decision on falling back. It is a fairly obvious one. That entire flank was left alone, more or less. We didn't really put any power over there. But I have found myself in the past going to that flank anyway, and I'm going to hold them as long as I can. It's all I can do. Well, you know what? Screw it. Fall back to the rest of your guns. The rest of the team kind of saw it. We actually did a really nice job over there. There were certainly some lucky situations, but if you don't put yourself in a position to get some luck and be able to use it, then your luck or unluck, however it goes, doesn't matter very much, does it? All right, that's all I've got. You guys have a fantastic day, and we will see you.